Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Nisrina Salsabila from English Education Department in UIN Jakarta and my student number is 55. Okay, before I start this presentation, I want to ask you one question. Mm, have you ever felt confused about how to teach English in fun and effective way? Or maybe wonder how teachers can make students enjoy learning in the class? As a future teachers, I think many of us will face the situation in the classroom. So that's why today I would like to recommend a very useful book entitled How to Teach English by Jeremy Harmer. This book explains not only about teaching methods but also how to manage the classroom, understand students' learning needs, and create enjoyable learning activities. So, in this presentation, I will explain the content of the book, its strength and weakness, and why this book is worth to read, especially for English education and future teachers. Let's begin. Let me introduce the book first. The title of this book is How to Teach English. It was written by Jeremy Harmer. He is an English teacher, writer, and expert in English language teaching or ELT. He is well known for writing many books about teaching methods and classroom practice that are widely used by teachers and education students around the world. And this book was published by Person Education Limited, as also known as Longman, in 1998, and it contains around 212 pages and belongs to the educational or reference genre. And this book is mainly designed for people who want to learn how to teach English effectively, especially beginner teachers and education students. Now, let's talk about what this book is about. This book explains many important things related to English teaching and learning. Firstly, the book explains about how to teach English effectively in the classroom. For example, the author explained that teachers should not only explain materials for the whole class all the time, right? And sometimes teachers should use pair works or group discussion so students can practice English more actively. And second, the book explains how to learn language. The author talks about learning styles, motivation, and classroom participation. For example, some students learn better by listening, while others understand more practice and interaction. And next, this book also discusses classroom management and how teachers can create good interaction in the class. For example, teachers should know how to organize activities, give, give clear instruction, and keep students focused during the lesson. Besides the book explains several teaching methods such as communicative language teaching and P3, which stands for presentation, practice, and production. For example, in the P3 method, teachers first explain the materials, then students practice it, and finally, the students use the language independently. The book also gives techniques for teaching speaking, listening, reading, and writing. There are also explanations about teaching grammar, vocabulary, and lesson planning because this book is about English teaching, right? Overall, these books teach readers how to become more professional, creative, and effective English teaching. And now, let's move to the target audience of this book. In my opinion, this book is highly suitable for English teachers, of course, especially for beginners teachers who still need guidance about teaching methods and classroom management, right? And by reading this book, I think teachers can learn how to manage time during the lesson, manage students in the classroom, use various teaching methods, and understand what students need in the learning process. And it's also very suitable for education students because the explanations are detailed and mostly related to teaching practice. Through this book, education students can learn how to become more prepared, creative, and confident before teaching in a real classroom. Besides that, this book is also useful for ELT learners or people who are interested in English language teaching, right? Because I think it gives a better understanding about how language teaching works in real classroom situation. I give the highest rating to English teachers and also education students because I think The content is very relevant and useful for their future teaching careers. Now, I will explain the strength and weakness of this book. First, let's talk about the strength. One of the biggest strengths of this book is very complete and well organized. The chapters are arranged clearly so readers can follow the explanation more easily. Another strength is that the book gives many real classroom examples and teaching cases. For example, the author explains how teachers can use fireworks, group discussion, or classroom activities to make students more active and confident in learning English. Because of these examples, reading can imagine real teaching situation and clearly. And I also think the explanations are clear and easy to follow, even though some parts are still academic language. The book explains teaching methods step by step, so readers can understand how to apply them in the classroom. However, the book is have a weakness. But I think this book is still perfect. But everything still a weakness, right? First, the book has a very simple design and meaning visual. Most of pages are filled with text only, and I think this happened because the book was published in 1998, right? When technology and book design were not as advanced as today. And because of that, some readers may feel less interested or bored while reading the book, like me. And second, the book gives limited example of modern digital teaching tools because it also published quite a long time ago. So there is not much discussion about online learning platforms or digital classroom. And lastly, the language is sometimes, I think, difficult for beginners because some explanation use formal and academic language. Even so, I still think the content of this book is very valuable and useful, especially for future English education. After reading this book, I got many new perspectives about teaching. Before reading this book, I thought teaching was mainly about explaining materials clearly. But after reading this book, I realized that teaching is much more than that. For example, in real classroom situations, students usually become more active when the teacher creates a comfortable and enjoyable atmosphere. If the class is too serious and teacher only explain the material all the time, students may quickly feel bored or afraid to participate, right? And I also learned that teachers should understand students' needs and learning styles because every student learn differently. For example, some students understand lesson faster through discussion and speaking activities, while others prefer watching examples or practicing directly. Because of that, teachers should use different teaching methods for different students. In my opinion, this book is worth to read because it can help the beginner teachers and education students understand how to teach English more effectively. The book also gives many practical teaching strategies and classroom examples that can be directly applied in real teaching situations. Even though I think some parts use academic language and it's hard, but the explanations are still clear and easy to follow because the book explains teaching method step by step, and this makes readers understand and the materials more easily. Okay, before I stop this presentation, I want to say that teaching is not only about delivering materials, but also about helping students feel comfortable, confident, and motivated to learn. That's why I think How to Teach English is a very useful book, especially for future teachers, because it teaches not only about teaching methods, but also how to understand students and create a positive classroom atmosphere. Even though the book has a few weaknesses, the knowledge and practical guidance in this book are still very valuable for improving teaching skills. So, if you want to become better, more creative, and more confident English teacher, I highly recommend this book. Thank you for watching my presentation. That's all from me, and Good luck. Bye bye.